This is the afternoon video update. This is for Monday, the 20th of November. This is James Spann. Alabama's weather turning wet and stormy tonight. The most dynamic storm system we've seen in a while. We have the chance of a few severe storms across parts of the state. So let's get in here and talk about it. Many things to discuss today. This is the upper air look across the country this afternoon. And again, we've got this deep trough that's developing down through parts of the Great Plains states into Texas. And underneath that, we have a surface low that is south of Oklahoma City, 1,000 millibars, with a warm front down through parts of Louisiana. In fact, we have a few severe storms forming on that warm front as we speak. In fact, here's a look at the radar coming out of central Louisiana. You can see a pretty impressive tornadic storm that's located over central Louisiana. And we have multiple tornado warnings in effect there. We got a tornado watch in effect. And again, we'll be watching those storms carefully. The situation in Alabama will not be like they experience now, but still, we certainly have a chance of strong to severe storms tonight and tomorrow morning for parts of the state. There's the visible satellite view, and you can see that some places are under a mostly sunny sky, especially on the eastern side of the state. Otherwise, a mixture of clouds and sunshine. And there's the radar composite. You can see rain falling over parts of West Tennessee, Arkansas, down into Louisiana, where those severe storms currently in progress. Again, we'll kind of expand out the radar and kind of get you an idea of what's going on here. The bulk of these severe storms are south of Interstate 20 in Louisiana, and they've developed pretty quickly over the past couple of hours, moving to the northeast. And again, that's where we have the perfect combination of shear and instability. Lapse rates are fairly steep, and the LCLs are fairly low. So again, we have a tornado watch in effect there. We'll be watching those storms, obviously, with great interest. But around here, pretty pleasant. We've got readings in the low 70s in many spots. Birmingham at 71, Anniston 72, down to the south, 74 for Mobile and Dothan. And this will be the warmest day of the week, as we will be turning noticeably colder by midweek on Wednesday. Now, one thing to point out tonight, non-thunderstorm winds, these are gradient winds, will be very gusty. There is a wind advisory in effect for the counties in brown on that map for the potential of wind gusts to 40 miles per hour tonight. This is away from storms, so keep that in mind. It will be a very windy night tonight. And the counties in yellow back off to the west, that is a tornado watch in effect for a pretty good chunk of Louisiana, extreme southern Arkansas, and parts of East Texas. And there's the big picture. Got a few scattered wind issues out west as well. So this is the latest convective outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. And again, keep in mind as you look at this, this is valid until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. We have an enhanced risk of severe storms for parts of extreme East Texas, Louisiana, into parts of Mississippi. This will include Jackson, then back along Interstate 20 toward Monroe and Shreveport. And in Alabama, you can see, and again, this is valid through 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, we have a level 2 out of 5, slight risk from near Vernon, Reform, and Tuscaloosa south down to Bay Minette, Mobile, and Dauphin Island. This would include places like Demopolis, Greensboro, Utah, Linden, Jackson, Grove Hill, Thomasville, Butler, Chatham. We have a marginal risk over to I-65. This is the probabilistic outlook for tornadoes for tonight. And again, valid through 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. And obviously, the greater concern in terms of tornado activity is located west of the state, especially in the enhanced risk area. But still, we have a low-end possibility of a few isolated tornadoes over the western side of the state tonight, especially near the Mississippi state line. So again, it's a night where you want to be sure you can hear severe weather warnings if they are needed. We hope that they are not, but just be aware of that. So let's go to the outlook tomorrow. This is valid after 6 o'clock. And again, you can see a risk of severe storms from Alabama into parts of the Carolinas. The level 2 out of 5 risk has been expanded a bit for tomorrow for South Alabama. The level 2 out of 5 risk includes Montgomery, Auburn, Opelika, Selma, and Point South. Places like Greenville, Luverne, Troy, Geneva, Dothan, Enterprise, Andalusia, Atmore, and Baldwin County. And this is for tomorrow morning. And again, this is the probabilistic outlook for tornadoes. There could be a few isolated tornadoes, especially in that level 2 out of 5 risk area tomorrow morning. And if you like the numbers game, the chance of any one spot getting an actual tornado is only 5 to 9%. That's relatively low, but it's meaningful. And again, the key message here is to be sure you can hear severe weather warnings if they are needed. And then on day 3, which is Wednesday, no severe weather is expected. On the plus side, some pretty decent rain amounts are expected around here for the next 7 days. Rain amounts between 1 and 2 inches for much of the state. Some spots may be getting more. And the bulk of this will be tonight into tomorrow morning. We might see a little light rain Thursday night or Friday morning, but other than that, things look fairly dry for the rest of this week and the weekend after the storm's exit tomorrow. And quickly in the tropics, got a couple of X's on the board. One in the central Atlantic, one in the Caribbean. The Caribbean feature with only a 10% chance of development. The Atlantic feature with a 40% chance, but that'll be moving out into the middle of nowhere. There's nothing threatening the contiguous United States. So model fans, here we go. This is the high-resolution HRRR valid tonight at midnight. And just this messy mass of storms coming in here tonight. And there's just, it's going to be a good rain. That's the positive here. Again, you're looking at 12 midnight. Let's go to 3 a.m. The massive storms coming through. So we're going to have some late night thunder, middle of the night, early morning thunder. And then by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, lingering showers and storms over parts of east and southeast Alabama. Those should be out of the state by early tomorrow afternoon. So again, let's back up to 12 midnight. And that's what the radar should look like in theory. So let's look at the severe weather parameters. This is the SRH, the storm relative helicity, and obviously a lot. And that's fairly typical for systems this time of the year. But this is what's lacking. This is the instability, and there's just not that much. There'll be a little bit over parts of west and south Alabama. This is the significant tornado parameter. This is a composite index valid tonight at midnight, and you can see those higher values south of Interstate 20 and southeastern Mississippi at midnight. So it's conceivable there could be a few isolated tornadoes in that part of Mississippi, maybe pushing into southwest Alabama after midnight. So again, just be sure you can hear warnings if they're needed. Here's a look at the updraft helicity tracks. And again, we stress this is not exactly where tornadoes will touch down, but an idea of where there could be sufficient parameters for rotating updrafts. And you can see a few possibly over there on the western side of the state. So here's kind of the sum of all of this. If you're just joining us here, again, we're live at 2:42. This concerns tonight and tomorrow. And this is a composite of the outlook for tonight and tomorrow. And the main concern, it's for the areas in yellow on that map, parts of west and south Alabama, for the possibility of storms with strong gusty winds and maybe a brief isolated tornado or two. In terms of the timing, this is going to be an overnight type thing. We've got 10 o'clock on the western side of the state. It might be closer to midnight before the storms get in there. But in that window from midnight until 6, that'll be for the western side of the state, then after 6 a.m. for east and southeast Alabama. And again, the main concern, strong gusty thunderstorm winds. There could be an isolated tornado or two. And again, the highest chance of a severe storm in the areas in yellow on that map. That's a level 2 out of 5 slight risk. And also keep in mind, even if you're in Huntsville, where there's no formal severe weather risk, the gradient winds, not related to storms, will be very gusty tonight. So if you got your Christmas decorations out early, you might want to secure those things because they might blow halfway to Nashville. So very windy, rain and storms likely tonight. And again, we'll come back and review this again before we stop the simulcast here. This is tomorrow, the GFS. This is at 4 o'clock. And again, you can see troughing off to the west. And at that point, the rain and storms should be pretty much out of Alabama. Clouds will likely linger. This day should be relatively mild, with highs well up in the 60s, maybe low 70s for the southern counties of the state. But then on Wednesday, the weather turns noticeably colder. That's the surface chart. This is the upper air look on Wednesday, and a very deep upper low is going to rotate through North Alabama. Underneath that, there could be a few sprinkles of rain. Probably nothing significant, but kind of cloudy, breezy, much colder, with highs only in the upper 40s in the Tennessee Valley. If you're in Huntsville, the Shoals, it'll be a different kind of day with 50s elsewhere. And again, this is Thanksgiving Eve, busiest travel day of the year. If you're traveling, rain for the South Atlantic coast, some rain up in the Northeast, maybe some snow for Maine, but the rest of the country relatively quiet. And then on Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, things look nice and calm. Should be a cool day, partly to mostly sunny with highs in the low to mid 50s in most spots after starting off the day in the mid to upper 30s. Temperatures below average. And we do note the green down there in the western Gulf. There's potential for a Gulf low to form, and that could bring some light rain to South Alabama Thursday night. But the day Thursday for Thanksgiving should be dry. And this is Friday, and again, that looks rain-free. But again, we will mention some scattered light rain Thursday night or Friday morning for the southern half of the state. Probably not much. Temperatures stay below average, and this is Iron Bowl Saturday. Weather looking cool and dry, about 60 at kickoff at Jordan-Hare. 50s by the fourth quarter, we see no chance of rain. And Sunday still looks cool and dry. And a week from today, everybody goes back to work, Monday the 27th of November. Zonal flow, and we are still dry. Let's go out 10 days. This is Thursday of next week, the 30th of November. A northwest flow aloft, and once again, we're rain-free. This is rain for Birmingham coming off the GFS Ensemble. The mean between 2 and 3 inches for the next 15 days, valid through about the 5th of December. Temperatures, this should be the warmest day of the week. We've got low 70s today, upper 60s tomorrow, and then the high dropping to 53. And this is for Birmingham. Keep in mind your number might vary. We've got 37 early Thursday morning as we begin Thanksgiving Day. The high Thursday, 57. And again, highs mostly in the 50s for the weekend and through next week. And latest 8 to 14-day guidance. This is actually the product from yesterday, but that's the basic idea. Much of the country will likely see below average temperatures. So once again, let's go back to Louisiana. And you can see that we've got a number of thunderstorms in progress, some severe. We've got one tornado warning. And this is all south of Interstate 20 where these severe storms are currently in progress. And there's a tornado watch in effect there. We'll be watching all of that. That will gradually cross the Mississippi River this evening, ultimately moving in here tonight. And again, if you're just watching us here, we're live on Facebook and YouTube. This is the severe weather outlook for tonight and early tomorrow morning. This is valid through 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. We've got a level 2 out of level 5 slight risk from Vernon, Tuscaloosa, Northport, Reform, south down to Mobile, Bay Minette, and Fort Morgan. A marginal risk over to I-65. And then after 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, a level 2 out of 5 risk over much of South Alabama. This is mainly for tomorrow morning. The greatest concern will be coming from strong straight-line winds. And this is a composite of both of those products, and you can see the approximate timing here. But again, there could be an isolated tornado or two, especially over the western and southern counties and the counties in yellow on that map. So you know the drill. Just have a way of getting warnings in the middle of the night if they're needed. And have your plan ready. Helmets for everybody in your safe place. If you live in a mobile home, know the location of the nearest shelter, how to get there quickly, even if it's 3 a.m. And we'll get through the night together. And I wouldn't call this a major threat. I would not. But still, if there's, like I said this morning, if there's one isolated tornado in the whole state, and if that thing comes down your street, it's a major event. But we'll certainly take the rain that we're going to get. Hey, quickly, let's roll some kid cam video. Good to be back on the road today. Mountain Brook Elementary School, the 6th graders. Yeah, buddy. Come on now. A lot of schools are out this week, but by golly, they're in school and they're learning, and I like it. Good to see all those smiling 6th graders. Had a great time today. That's a great school. And again, thanks so much for the visit. And obviously, for the rest of the week, we'll be off with the Thanksgiving holidays. I'm scheduled to be up in Decatur tomorrow to speak at Decatur Utilities, and we'll just see how it goes. It depends on how late we stay up tonight. We are going to obviously staff the weather office all night tonight, and we'll keep you advised. If you're new here, we typically do these twice a day, even when the weather's good, at about 5:15 in the morning, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'll simulcast them on YouTube and Facebook. We have supplementary notes on the blog, which is alabamawx.com. And, of course, we invite you to watch us on television this evening. That's ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10. And don't forget Weather Brains, our weekly show for weather dweebs, geeks, dorks, weenies, and nerds, on the air tonight. I'll be back on the show tonight. Had to miss it last week. I was dealing with a major health issue, but I'm back in full blast. So we'll be on tonight at 7 Central, 8 Eastern, on the Weather Brains YouTube channel, weatherbrains.com or youtube.com/weatherbrains. And of course, the podcast version comes out early tomorrow morning. So thanks for watching. Have a great evening and God bless.